Record. This recording is for you, okay? It's for you because I know you're diving into those exercises I suggested that you do. But we don't want to unravel an onion too quickly. So while you're doing and slowly working on correcting those two things, we want to make sure that you are going to walk and use your gait a little bit more functionally, which means you need to kick the heel forward a little bit more than you're used to sometimes, right? Because before the stretching, you were not your gait, your strides were short, like you had a hard time, maybe feeling your heels hit the ground. So with this program that you've got going started here with me, we want to make sure that you've got the dance down when it comes to the core. You'll see with this video a link so that you can go and get yourself the links on Vimeo for these trainings that are on the site, so that you can get the deep core stuff in there and learn a little bit more about how it all works together. Let's talk about the gait real quick, because there's also the neck. I want to get to those two spots. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. So your gait, all right, I talk about the heel hitting the ground. Now you don't want to hammer it down either, because that'll just give you a knot and you have to start working on that. Don't do that either. You want to feel comfortable, maybe slightly out of your comfort zone-ish when you're working on this as a practice. When you're just walking around everywhere, you won't be doing it. But when you get opportunities to walk, for example, into the stadium, where you can see that you've got a nice stride ahead where you can get a few reps in, then you would want to start to think about how you're moving. And so with the heel strike, there comes an anchoring of the edge of the foot. When I talk about the edge of the foot, I don't want you to overreach, because the big toe will come off the floor. You want to feel the edge of the foot down. After the heel strikes, the edge comes down and the big toe heads down also. So it goes edge, and then the big toe comes down. And by that point, your leg is coming behind you and the big toe is there and ready to anchor, turn on the inner hip muscles, including the back side of the glute, close to the sacrum, like right back in there. And that's with the belt buckle lift here at the front, because you've stretched out the front of your hip flexors, you've got more range to drive the hip forward now a little bit more than you did before. So you've got more range to try and pick up the belt buckle, which is going to turn on your back glute muscle, which is going to drive you forward, big toe forward. So you're not going to leave your hips behind and pick your legs up with the front of your leg. So it's like a triangle. You've got heel there, edge, and it's an inside edge. It's not like on the outside edge. I'm talking like it's really subtle. So you go heel, edge, because right now you're going to start collapsing into the knees, into the arches, if you keep getting tighter in the front. So you're trying to learn how to walk again, basically. So you've got the heel, edge, and then it's like a rocking motion to the big toe. And then at that point, you've picked your belt buckle up and you've got the glute tightened up to push you forward, so you're underneath your rib cage with your hips as you're walking, right? You're driving the hips are being moved from behind you. Now, the hip flexors are intimate with the lower back stuff. I mentioned that in the email. You've got your sternocleidomastoid muscles down here. They are like a hip flexor in your neck. Then the neck here and the lower back are like very intimate with each other. So if you're being pulled here with a hip flexor somewhere in here getting upset or tightened, you're going to have some stuff going on in the neck. Now, when I looked at you, I don't get pulled too much to your neck issues here, but I do want to go through a couple of things, because again, if you're tightening here, you're tightening up in here somewhere too. Most of the time with hip flexors, it's pec minor is what it's called. Pec minor is under major, and it is a bugger. It's like the hip flexor. It can pull that shoulder forward and down, and then you have no ability to pull your shoulders down when you're training, for example, and your head will start falling forward. So real quick, let's get into some stretching here for your neck. All right, you've got the stuff for the lower body. With the neck position, before you do stretches, I want you to think about pulling your chin back to neutral, because right now, if you look at the inner ear, you're going to start to go this way, right? As we get older, or we don't want to say older anymore, we say as we age, and depending on our hydration levels, we can go forward here, sedentary lifestyle. So what you need to do is you want to think about before you stretch your neck to realign your neck, like I do with your pelvis. I realigned your pelvis by telling you to lift your front so you feel the back engaging. Well, you need to draw your chin back, place your tongue flat on the roof of the mouth. Now, what that does, it strengthens up this intersection here, because when you get a little bit more forward posture here, this all relaxed, goes kind of like, well, there's certain areas we've been shown that we should probably keep an eye on tightening, keeping tight and strong, and that's here. And then back in here, tricep and lats, even for ladies. And actually, ladies, we're the ones who complain, I think, most about it. Backside core. So with the chin, with the neck stretches, just remember, try and pull yourself back here. Now it's getting a little bit challenging at first. Once you get to neutral, I'm trying to bring your alignment up with the side of your shoulder here, with your inner ear there. So that when you turn your head, you're going to still try and keep your chin drawn in rather than it fall and you turn your head like this. You're going to try and keep your head square, neutral, and you may not even turn your head very far. It may only go so far, and that's fine. Keep your chin drawn back, look over your shoulder. And the opposite shoulder is what you got to pay attention to, even though you're not looking that direction. It will come with you. So you've got to hold that shoulder back and down as you look to the right. And the other side is, right, chin drawn in, you turn and look over your left, and that shoulder, right shoulder back and down. There. And you're not, you're trying to take the whole head, right? Jawline, and you're locked in on that one side here and the back opposite side. You're going to do that a couple of times, and then you're going to look down and you'll start to stretch things up and around the traps here as you start to turn your head, making sure you're locked down behind you. And then you get to your chin neutral side bending action. And then the ability to side bend here will give us a nice stretching along the sides here and the back of the neck as well. Loosen things up. Cars are not helping, you know, us having all this here. We used to have to look over our shoulders, right? This stuff here now, oof. And even just doors like opening for us, oh, they're so heavy now. We didn't tear a knee now opening a door. I'm trying to avoid those things, but a lot of people are doing that now with that handicap button to open doors because they're so bloody heavy now. Barely open to myself, and I'm pretty strong, and I'm having a hard time. So using our core while we're moving is really important, including moving the head. So one more note, pec minor, that was your neck. We go down into this intersection here, which is the pec minor. To get to pec minor, you bring your right hand. When we're doing video work here, if I'm sending you video, it's usually a mirror. So I'll say, put your right hand behind your head, and then you put your left hand, I put my, I'll say, put your right hand behind your head, and you'll see me do left. Okay. Now, if you tended to grab a neck, like if you went up to grab the back of your head and you grab the back of your neck, that's a sign, or, you know, I can see when somebody's moving that the pec minor has stopped that pattern of getting the hand to the back and up near the top here. You're supposed to have like that reach there. Pec minor will prevent that, and you'll probably even try and tilt your head. So you want, again, neutral neck position, hand, middle of the head behind you. Now, to get to pec minor, you're just going to squeeze your shoulder blade here to your spine. Give a squeeze. Now, try not to don't be competitive about it. Just blade tight. There's the strength. And then there's the stretch, sorry. So there's the strength behind you and the stretch and the lengthening in the front. And you're breathing. This is not a static stretch unless you turn off the back of your shoulder. So you do the work. You keep squeezing your shoulder blade. It moves. Degrees of motion, there is some there if you're working, and there's more lengthening there. Bring it down and relax. Other side, chin's drawn in, so I'm not here, right? I want to correct neutral, right? Down here, it's lift the front. So we go chin drawn in and blade to spine, elbow moves backwards. Step one, keep it squeezing. The step two, like if you felt pretty comfortable here, you want to go a little more, it would be back and upwards. And they're still going backwards. There's the strength, right? And down. And I would do that 2 or 3 times just to loosen things up. I'm always feeling for both stretch and strength, both of them. Otherwise, it's potentially a static position. So now you're gonna go back to your neck. So it goes neck, loosen things up, pec minor. Now we go back to neck. Same thing. Over, side bending, chin's drawn back. It's just the basics for you right now. I just want to make sure that, you know, we don't open Pandora's box on your body just by unwinding you from your too tight spots. We want to make sure your gait's going in, and working on that. Sometimes you're finding yourself kind of doing that. Your left leg, I'm not sure if that's an old injury. You haven't given me a lot of information. So that winging, is it a longer leg? Is it a tight hip on the other side? I'm not too sure. So you do have to go carefully at this stuff. But that gait for you, it could be a longer leg, and you're going to be having to, you're bringing it out this way. So you're going to have some, you know, pattern correction happening there. So just let the body do it, you know, kind of just be intuitive about it. No force. And things should roll real nice. And then again, you've got to look at the 8 patterns or 7 patterns of movement. There are 8, but I do 7 with movement here in the studio. We want to look and make sure you're doing your lunges. I'm going to throw videos out now, all because of you. I will do some videos and trail it like short and sweet, because I do a course on these movement patterns, but I'm going to do like a quick thing on the 7 movements. So it'd be a short, you'll see it on the Instagram. I'll probably send it to you. Maybe I can even send it to you here. But I'm going to go through all the patterns, because it's important that you know biomechanically what you should be doing in each of the positions. Because right now, being that you're tight here, you're lunging, right? Might be a shorter type of lunge with the tuck under, right? Because your upper hamstring is, it's kind of pulling you. It's trying to hold you up. So, but you're being tight in the hip flexor here. You're probably having a hard time getting that heel down. But after these stretches, you'll be able to anchor the heel down a little more, gliding the knee forward, no problem, and allowing the body to transfer some weight a little bit. But with tennis as well, you've got to have 2 types of lunges. So we need to go through the lunges patterns. Squatting, you know, going through some squats, pushing and pulling and all of that. You probably already have in your program. It's the gait. Just work on your gait. And then even in your lunges, set it up where you've got the triangle. You can feel the heel. The front side is lifting you as you're driving the floor away from you with the back of your hip. It's like a dance. And the edge of your foot here, as it was on the gait, on the walking practice, the edge of your foot is down, so your knee's not going to buckle inwards. You want to try and keep your knee straight over your second toe, right? And that takes up the front, down the back side. I think that's it. And I'll try and shorten this so we only get the what's really important to hear me talking about. Trying to figure out the best way to do this, and I think it's going to be this way. And then I'll go through the primal patterns with you. And then any injuries or any past history that you think I should know about when it comes to your physical body. Like, I'd really like to know what's going on with that left leg, if anything, you've ever had any issues with it at all. And yeah, like, what's the canvas I'm painting on without you actually being here in front of me? That'd be awesome to know a little bit more about you and your history. All right. I'll leave it there. This has been lovely. I'll look forward to the next one. Bye for now.